Hi everyone, we are live here in Florida, but also today we are sharing this space, beautiful space of woman to woman with Switzerland. Our beautiful guest Monica is living there, and I want you to know her story. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna identify yourself with her, and then probably you can also share this beautiful space and this beautiful interview with other people that probably need it. And I'm so glad that you are here with us like every Wednesday. So please be sure that you go to LinkedIn or Facebook or even here in YouTube and share and spread this beautiful interview. So let me say hi, Monica. Let me introduce you to her and welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Ydalmis. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. Hello from Switzerland, Europe.
I love it. So let me tell you a little bit about Monica. She had been in my life like probably a few months ago. We met in a beautiful place. It's a space that we help other women to achieve their dreams, and we are very happy to connect. We click immediately because our energies were in the same journey, right? So we want to achieve our dreams. We want to get out there and spread our words and help other people. She's also a coach like me. So we are in the same type of journey in terms of helping other people and making the difference out there. So I want you to know today her story. I want you to know about Monica, and I want you, Monica, that share your experience, who you are, your story, and what are you doing right now.
Right. So I as you said, I am also a coach, um, mainly energy healer, and I am actually a healing mentor. That's what I like to call it because my way of helping people is not traditional healing. I'd say it's
Mm-hmm.
bringing them back into their own power and into their responsibility. So yes, I do energy healing. I perform energy healing, but that is just kind of a side effect, let's call it that way, because what I truly do is I will empower my clients to go really truly deep to find out what lies behind the apparent physical issues they have, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the pain, or if they are experiencing a disease. So what's behind that story? What are they telling themselves? What are they not seeing? And how can we together help them overcome this so they can make decisions regarding their health and they can live the best life available and possible, right? So that's what I do. That's only one part of my business because I I have actually several businesses. I am what's called multi-passionate. So I also am a conference interpreter, which is, for those who don't know, it's the people who, when you're at an international conference where there are speakers from all over the world, um, the interpreters are the ones that are usually in the background. You don't often see them, but when you get a headset, you will hear a voice in there, and that would be an interpreter's voice, which will actually translate what has been said into any given language, say Spanish, English, German, whatever there is. So that's what I do as well. And now you may be wondering why I am mentioning this. Actually, I'm mentioning this because for me, this is my connecting point. Actually, it's helping people understand is my mission, my my goal, kind of giving them the power, and to get to have the power, they need to understand. And so, the conference interpreting, so the conference translation thing is just like the, let's call it the 9 to 5 business. It's like where you like physically need to understand what the other is saying. But when you transpose this onto coaching and energy healing, it's all about the same thing. It's about understanding ourselves. It's about getting the best understanding possible, the best idea, the most knowledge you can have about yourself, about what lies behind, what emotions are hidden, what you can do to improve your health in
I like that.
every aspect. Yeah.
You know, I love the connection that you just made, and I think that I have to share this experience that I have with translators or people that are doing the interpretation. I used to run a lot of different conferences also in my 20 years in the healthcare industry, and I have my doctors that were doing conferences. I was in conferences. You know, we were in congresses that are very huge, and people from everywhere, and that connection, our voice, our communication, our energy, really, is beautiful when someone can be. And I'm amazed sometimes, like how fast you can listen and translate, and it's amazing. Without you guys, our show, our congress, our conferences were totally different for other people in different, foreign or people in different languages. So for me, and then talking about, the energy healing, the communication, our chakras, and everything that is related to our communication, how beautiful is that you are activating that in your body, but at the same time you're communicating with someone that you probably can listen to you because he's a speaker talking, but at the same time you are in the ears of so many people,
Mhm.
and I was, sometimes even sitting in those chairs having my, headphones and listening to the translation, because could be, I don't know, Arabic, or it could be, Mandarin, or it could be different languages that I don't speak. I just speak Spanish, English. I understand very well Portuguese and also Italian, because the roots are almost the same. But when you are in different, countries, or you are in a conference with so many people from around the world, definitely you guys are super important. So I'm so happy that you are saying that. And tell us about your family, and what where you coming from, and who is,
Yeah.
who is in your surrounds.
Yeah. So I actually I have two teenagers, to a son and a girl, and as I said, we live in Switzerland. Um, and actually, how maybe what's interesting is how I came to healing, because as we were just discussing, I come from a rather mind-oriented, like analytical background originally, right? But about, well, almost 15 years ago, I actually had a really low point in my life. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, right, which is a
Mm.
chronic disease. And at the time, my children were really small. They were like 2 years and 3 months. The girl was 3 months old, so they were like really my babies, right? And when you get a diagnosis like that, the rug gets pulled under your feet. You're like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? And you're starting to ask. Today I said really important questions, but at the time it was let's call it was a process to get there. Um, you start to questioning, what is life about? Will I actually see my children grow up? Will I be able to walk? What will be the consequences, etc., etc.? So, like, literally, you're confronted with your own mortality, which is really hard, because
Mhm.
it's something we're not used to anymore. I mean, in former times, that it was just nature of things, right?
Mhm.
Death was part of life. Today, not so much. So when you get a diagnosis like that, and you're like really confronted with such a disease, and you have little children in addition to that, you start to think about a lot of things, and questioning a lot of things, and at the time, for the first time around, we had quite a few issues also with my husband, and it I was close to burnout at the time. I have to say, I was like really overwhelmed. I was, yeah, well, it was just everything was too much. So my parents at the time did a really great thing. They sent me away on a vacation just by myself on my own for a week. Yeah, and it was the best thing that they did because that's when I actually literally stumbled into a little shop where the lady had these beautiful crystals, and I've always been attracted by crystals, but I was never like, I was actually afraid of anything spiritual, anything spirituality. You know, I
Mhm.
was like, no, 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 that's not for me. I was really scared. I was like pushing that away, like literally miles away from me. So I stumbled into that little shop and we started talking, and I stayed there for 2 hours in that shop. And it was like a tiny, tiny room, right? But it was so amazing. And actually, she kind of launched me onto the path because she introduced me to her mentor and to her teacher at the time. And that's where first I heard about aura reading, like, and you go like,
Uh-huh.
oh, ooh, that sounds really interesting, right? And in the end, I ended up becoming an energy healer because that was actually what I wanted. I wanted to heal myself, right? I
And
wanted
then
to,
that in that place, they were doing the aura reading or no?
yeah, they were. They
They
were.
were
She was
okay.
actually, yeah, she was teaching that. But that was actually, for me, that was kind of my hook because I was like, ooh, I want to know that. I want to, see people's auras and la la la. Just to Yeah, which is alert here because I do see aura, but I don't see it in color usually. I see the energy. I don't see the colors. Like a lot of people say that they see colors. I don't. But I can see aura. Um, but in the end, yeah, it was literally my introduction into energy healing, which
Wow.
yeah, launched me there. Yeah.
I said to about that. I can tell, like sometimes we are struggling, and from there we can develop something that is marvelous,
Yes.
and you never know. So thank God that your parents were like, have that wisdom and say, hey, Monica, come on, dude, go
Go, go,
out
go.
and there, go on vacation, and look at what happened to you.
Yeah.
You probably face your next chapter, in life at that moment. It's like we are struggling, we are closing, this chapter to open another door. And that's what happened to you. And that's beautiful. I know about the aura reading in Puerto Rico. When I was living over there, was this guy that was a guru of
Mhm.
aura reading. And I went to there because, like every woman, I think in one moment have curiosity, right? And we want to know, what about myself? How can I know myself better? How I
Yeah.
can balance my energy? How I can, disconnect during the night in my meditation, or do whatever it takes to for you to be more in peace,
Mhm.
be, in harmony, understand better your family, continue in your work every day and your daily life. So for me, it's very important, and I believe in that. I grew up with nuns all my life, from kindergarten to high
Mhm.
school, and I was spiritual in a different way, in terms of, praying to God, and I'm still doing it. I'm very close to Him, and that's my engine, my motto every day. But at the same time, I understand that He's part of it. He is part of our universe and the energy He created. And like, I think that it's important for us to be connected. And I'm so glad that, Monica, you are mentioning this, because sometimes people do not understand what we are doing as a coach, and
Mhm.
what is our responsibility, what is our commitment with the client, and what we are doing, to make the difference in that person, project or initiative or life, or personal or professional, doesn't matter. But I think it's important for you to explain, what you were saying. So that was beautiful. And let me ask you a question. So in what moment you noticed that you were doing something close to your passion? When you noticed that was the day, because you faced that reality in that moment on vacation, but probably you have to go back home, understand better, study about it, and then just tell us about it. Walk us through the
Yeah,
process.
well, exactly. Well, it was I did the first training, of course, and I was like nowhere near like feeling the passion about it. I was like, Yeah, I'll do it for myself. I'm not, I'm not. I didn't want. At that time, I didn't even want clients. I was like literally doing it for myself, mm, learning it, and wasn't even thinking. Even though my mentor at the time, she was kind of pushing me towards, like clients. You need to work with clients. I was like, no, I don't need to work with clients. I'm just doing this for me. And
Uh-huh.
then about a year later, I my dad was seriously ill, and he had a huge surgery. So he had this
Mm,
huge scar, and it was causing him trouble.
okay.
And then I automatically, one day when I was visiting, I was automatically, scanning with my hand, because
Beautiful.
it's not the what I do is very similar to Reiki. It's just not, I just don't call it Reiki, but I also scan with my hand. I send my energy with my hand. So I was actually scanning his scar, and and he goes like, wow, it gets really hot. And I was like, yes, it's exactly here, right? And he goes like, yeah, that's the point, that's where it's hurting. So I think it was that moment that was pivotal, because that was the moment I realized I can apply what I've learned to help others.
Beautiful.
And that was like really the first time I had used it on somebody else.
Wow.
So that was, for me, that was pivotal.
That was the
Really,
turning point.
yeah, it was. That was
Because
the
was
turning.
was was even that you were using it for yourself, but it was a family member that is, your father. So it's very close, someone that you love, and then you want to help, especially knowing these resources and the way that you can be closer to help to healing. Go to the healing process with him. And I like that because when I was, in those moments, I got divorced and I have a son. When he was around 3 years old, I start getting into that practices, like doing meditation, go to, I was in a close to a healer group. So they were doing, healing around Puerto Rico. People from India were coming to that group, show us different techniques,
Mhm,
also a different perspective, live. We have this monk from the Tibet that was beautiful moment for us because was kind of no more than 20 people with him, and
mhm,
he can teach us so much just talking to us. The experience is so pure and so like magical because the way that they live is so different than the way that we do live. And then have that contrast in your life, I think make a huge difference because we're in the go 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 go, work 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 work, and work with your kids and work with your family and your house and your dog and clients, and we don't stop. We wake up at 5:30 in the morning. It's 10, 11, 12, even 1 o'clock in the midnight, and or like, and we're still awake doing things. When do we stop? When do we align ourselves? How close you are with your purpose? And like talking about energy and God and all these experiences in terms of just our spirituality, I think it's important for us to recognize where we are. Where are we? Where do you want to be? And stop during the day. My favorite moment in my night is two times when I take in a shower. That when I feel the water into my body, for me,
mhm,
that's a beautiful energy that is coming to me, and I said that is my blessings from God. So that's something that I always say when I'm taking a shower. And my second moment of that I really enjoy is when I disconnect during the night in my meditations. And
mhm,
that really makes the difference for my next day. Or if I cannot do it during the night one night, I try to do it during the day. Just in the morning when I finish with breakfast and take the kids to school, probably come back and do it for, I don't know, 20 minutes. But I have to do it because it's just part of my routine, make me feel better. I really close and be out of the regular daily task and everything. I just want to disconnect, and
yes.
that's a beautiful thing. I'm so glad that you are getting into that, and then show your father you know your hands healing him, and use that energy that we have, that all we have, all of us, we have that energy that can support other people. I know so many women, and that the space that we were together, we have so many beautiful souls there that they want to do the same. They want to heal the world and support other women out there. That's what we were doing together. So let's continue about this beautiful interview. I'm so excited. So what is your passion, your goal, your, I don't know, utopia? you know, what is
Oh.
the most wild dream that you have in your mind,
Well,
regarding this beautiful job that you're doing?
well, my vision, my vision, my vision and my mission kind of is to create that beautiful center where people will come, and there will be, there will be like traditional doctors, like traditional medicine. There will be alternative medicine. There will be therapists, massages, Reiki healers, everything. And we will finally see each and every individual as the holistic being they are. So there will be coaches. There will be, coaches for mental health, coaches also for physical health, like movement therapy, breathing therapy, whatever have you. Like, that's my biggest vision and dream, is to have such a space where we can all work hand in hand, truly for the highest good of of everyone. So that's actually what my biggest vision is. And in the meantime, I'm helping my clients like one-on-one, and the next step I want to achieve is having a retreat, mainly for women, because I feel that we need to strengthen the sisterhood.
Mhm.
Um, Women have been fighting against each other for far too long, and we were played against each other. So it's so important to have this community, as we have, where you can feel safe, where you can feel supported. So that's actually the next goal, is to create a retreat for like-minded women, where we can come together in sisterhood and, be
And so
together.
it is. And so it is,
So
my friend.
it is. And so it is.
I know that it's gonna happen to you. Let me tell you this story. When I was writing my book, I met this lady. She's still my coach. But when I was writing the book, in my cohort was this lady from Canada, and she lost her husband. But deep inside, she knew that her purpose was opening a center like you. And I got chills because she was telling us the story. That how beautiful was the transition, because he wants her to do it. So from heaven, I'm pretty sure that he was helping. So, oh my god, I got so much chills.
Yeah, me too.
Because look at what happened. She had some money, right? And she said, with this money that I got, um on his honor, I'm gonna open my center, right?
Mm.
So she found this island. I'm gonna send you later on the link so you can see the place and you can see yourself there. Okay. I think
Yeah.
that we can do something about it. But I think that I want to tell you this story because really, really, it's very similar about what you want inside of there. So she went to this island that is part of Canada. You just have to go in a boat. It's not that it's very close to the main island. So they went to the main country. I'm sorry. They went to the island, and she found this land that was on sale.
Wow.
But the land was like no man's land. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
she had to do from zero. No, nothing there, nothing. So she got the contract. She signed. She got the land, and she started building. And guess what? The people that were living in the island knew her story, and everybody went to the land and helped her to clean the whole space. Just that,
Wow.
just
Wow.
that, right there.
Wow.
It's a
Wow.
big deal. It's a
Wow.
big deal, right?
Yeah.
So she continued, passing years, and nowadays it's a beautiful center, the way that you want it. It's you can go with your, couple and spend, I don't know, one night there in very spiritual path. You can walk around and have your own, moment and be in the zone and be silent for one day if you want to. Different programs that she have. She have even conferences for small groups, but she have different services as you were mentioned. So
Mhm.
I think it's important for you to just check it out, because when you mentioned that to me, immediately Angelique came to my mind, and think, like, how beautiful was the process. Take it probably, I don't know, a couple of years, I don't know how long, but at the end of the day the dream is come true, right?
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
we want. And at the end of the day, what we really want is help other people, right? That's our
That's
main purpose, right?
yeah.
Our mission. So I'm so happy, Monica. You are on your way. Beautiful. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna do that and continue what you're doing, because that's what we need in the world. More people that are aligned with our energy, support each other. As a woman to woman, I can tell you that that's my mission as well. When I sit down with my clients, the majority of them are women. I sit down with them to wake them up, continue in the evolution of their
Mhm.
professional life, but also knowing their self, and say, hey, what is your talent, what is your genius, or what, and embrace that part, make it expose to be exposed out there, and help others, and then you are on your way. So for sure. And at the same time, of course, I'm doing my corporate contracts, I'm doing public speaking engagement, my podcast, all the things. But at the same time, it's just focus on helping other people to find themselves and continue in their evolution. So that's why we are so connected, because we are in the same path. So tell me about, in one moment of your life, if you find a mentor that really help you to continue in your journey.
Well, there were quite a few mentors over the years. I I wouldn't say I had one special mentor, because each of them was important at that precise moment for
Yeah,
me.
for sure.
So I
But
don't
probably
have,
someone that, so probably just choose one that really today
yeah,
still, helping you to continue in your process and in your
yeah.
path.
I think it's this beautiful lady. She's actually we only connected online, because she's in the US, obviously, because most of the huge coaches or successful coaches are in the US. And she helped me a lot realizing, how can I say that, where my what I wasn't seeing about myself, or what I wasn't seeing about my most important gift. Because each and every one of us, we have gifts, right? And we usually have several. But the thing is, and that was really like eye-opening and mind-blowing for me. The thing is that most of us, we operate from our second or our third gift, and not from our main gift, because our main gift is so natural for us. We don't even recognize it, because it's just the one that is the most natural to us, that is the most present, or that's also the most, the most, yeah, I'd say really natural. It comes natural
Obvious.
to us.
La most
Yeah,
obvious.
obvious, right? And then as it is so obvious, it's nothing special for us. So we operate usually from our other gifts that are much harder for us actually to operate from, because they are also our gifts, but we need more effort. We need to put a little bit of effort in there. We need to, like it's like a little bit more. You need to do the nitty gritty. You need to do the grinding. And for me, that was so eye opening when she said, look, you're not working from your main gift. You should focus on that. And I'm like, well, everybody can do that. She goes like, no, that's your main gift. It's because it comes so natural to you. You feel that everybody else, that it's nothing special. It's just the same as everybody else, right? But it's not, because it's your unique gift. And even though everybody has that as well in them, of course, it doesn't mean that it's less your gift and your strength, let's call it
Yeah.
that way, right? So that was actually, I think that was the most mind-blowing message I got from any coach, I think
Oh, that's
really.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. When we find someone, right, that wake us up and say, "Wow, Monica, why? I know that you're doing this. I know you're doing that, and that's perfect. But you can do much better because you are not using your main gift." I love that. I love that. I love that. So I want later on. Just tell me if you can see my aura, and then we can talk about it later on. I love that as well. So, but it's you're right. Sometimes I was talking with a group of people that were in the industry with me when I was managing some groups of marketing, and I remember that sometimes we were talking about this book that was about getting into a rabbit to go to a lake and swim like a duck. And the beautiful learning from that book was, you have something very special. Each one of us, we have something very special that we were meant to be, here, or meant to do. And sometimes we just reject it. We just do not want to go that journey or go through that path. And once we identify the purpose of what you have to do is easier. It's gonna be what you were saying. It's like a fish in the water, So it's easier for you. And the story was about you have to go to classes, Rabbit, and let's go and get the swimming classes. And he struggled so much. He just drained and go back, and he was so sad at the same time because he was not doing what we have to do. He had to do. And the dog, all of them, they were laughing and all that stuff. And like it's a sad story in one aspect, but at the same time, the at the end of the story, he said, "You know what? Stop there. I'm not swimming anymore. This is not my thing. I want to do what I have to do." And when you stop and say, "You know what? No more of this," and I can tell you that I was, so many years learning, different aspects of the business inside of the industry. And I continue learning, like for me, every 3 years, I have to change my title and move to a different department, or, learning something new and, be an expert about something. And you notice when you are better in this department or this area than other area. That doesn't mean that you can learn, more about it. Other things that probably you are not the best, but at the same time, trying to keep yourself where you can, bright, be out there and be brighter. Like we have that thing, that special and uniqueness that everybody can understand. Oh wow, Ydalmis is so good in this, and that's something that I really say to my clients all the time. Be the guru, be the expert, be the teacher, the one that everybody's looking for, because you are doing the right thing, that is coming from your heart, that it make you, for you, is you don't feel that you are even working because you are doing something that is so easy for you.
It comes
And
from your
that's
heart, as you said, yeah.
exactly. So we are in the same set of mind in terms of find ourselves especially doing what we love. I love to be doing these interviews, for example, because not just to be in YouTube and have I don't know how many views. That's good to have, but this is not the main purpose. The main purpose of this interview is about you, Monica. It's about who you are. What are you doing out there that really makes a difference in our world? And no one knows Monica in Switzerland, probably in other part of the world. And that's important that we have to be exposed out there. We have to be responsible with our talents and skills and our uniqueness to be spread it, to be out there, to really support other people because you are doing it better and teach them and like this is what we're doing every day. So I think that's when we are in this spot. This is amazing. I love it. um Talk to me about more into what you do with your clients. I probably you have different type of clients, but what is your method and what do you think is important for you to people know on how can contact you as well and be close to you because I know that you are doing a great job.
Mhm. So yeah, as you say, my method is like really I how could you say that? I adapt it to each and every client. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I have like special or kind of structures, special steps. I will very probably we will start by looking at what is bothering them right now, and then we will like how would you say, sorry, I can't speak anymore. That's always when I'm connected with source, I lose my speech.
Oh, really? That's
I
beautiful.
get like
It's
I get
okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You're
it's
connected.
it's just that because I'm channeling, I'm kind of but God is speaking to me, and I'm like, I can't. It's just too much. So sometimes I get overwhelmed. Sorry about that. No, I'll come
No,
back now.
don't worry about
Okay,
it. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is what we do. It's okay.
that's what we do exactly. No, so I have like, of course, specific steps that I take my clients through, depending on what they need. Because for
Mm-hmm.
me, what is the most important for me is that you, as my client, can actually reclaim who you are and reclaim your power, whatever that is, however that shows up for you, right? It's but often, we feel we are the victim of circumstances. You often are, right, when you're in a work environment, and then you have, I don't know how much it's in the US, but in Europe, it's quite a theme, about being bullied at work. So how can you get out of that, and how can you get out of that role you're kind of you were pressed into, this victim? So we will look at that. We will look at the emotions, what has caused you to have that response to certain situations. And even when we take it one step further, when we look at people who have illness or disease or pain, we will also look at what are the emotions that have actually triggered that, because disease, in my view, is at dis-ease. So we are not at ease with ourselves. And that often comes from the fact that we haven't acknowledged, we haven't lived through certain emotions because a certain situation that happened, and you weren't able to process the emotions that were coming up at the time, often as a child, right?
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
we are not taught how to handle emotions correctly, like in a healthy way, let's call it, not correctly, but in a healthy way. We are also told that there are positive and negative emotions, which for me is not true, because there is no negative emotion. Emotions are neutral. They just are, and they need to be seen, they need to be acknowledged. And once you do that, they cannot manifest in your body, because if you don't acknowledge an emotion and you do that over time again and again because you have learned that pattern or you have taught yourself that pattern, those emotions get caught up in our body. Our cells have memory, so the emotions will get trapped. And that's where a lot of pain, disease come from. So we will look at that. What is there? What have you taught yourself? And is it still serving you? The pattern that you are using, is it still serving the same purpose as when you learned it, when you were a child or even later? And how can we actually transform that so that you can get out of that pattern? And when you step out of that pattern, you actually allow your body to heal and you are actually reclaiming part of the power you give away. Because for me, it's all about empowerment. It's all about empower others to see the beautiful, super powerful superhero they are on the inside. So, I want to get that out of my clients. That's what I do.
That is great. I I'm related to that because like last year I have a period of probably 1 or 2 months that I have a headache 2 or 3 times per day every day.
Mm.
So I went to the doctor and I have a X-ray. I didn't find anything. Thank God, it was nothing major. But the neurologist, he was telling me that it was tension headaches,
Mhm.
and that happened to me in my life twice. And then I started getting into, okay, what is going on that I'm doing right now that is triggering my headaches,
Mhm.
and start analyzing my daily life, and I know everything that I was doing, what I'm thinking, why I have so much pressure. I'm not organized or something, or like I'm doing something that is not normal for me, is something different. I start in that process of analyzing, but also every time that I was doing my meditation, and this is like for you to let me know if I'm doing right, but every time that I was doing my meditation, the first thing that I was, when I started my meditation, I just said, you know I'm gonna be open today to receive healing, but also at the same time take away this headache that doesn't belong to me. This is not, this is just a loner. You know what I mean? It's something that came into my head and it do not belong. And I know that it's gonna disappear. And it took me kind of a few weeks, doing that every day. And then they were going less and less, like probably
Mhm.
5 times a day, 3 times a day, then 2 times a day, and then they're gone again. But it's like how you prepare yourself mentally, or doing something different for you to acknowledge how you say it. I
Mhm.
know that you're there, but you don't belong, so go
Exactly.
away.
Yeah.
And the way, like go away with how? Well, drinking more water, doing some exercise, or do more meditation, whatever it takes. But
Yeah.
do something that really help you. And
Yeah.
you are a coach about this. You more than me know, what we had to do. But I think that was my approach.
Mhm.
Do you recommend something else that besides as an example for me, as with this headaches and whatever happened to me? What if I'm in your client and say to you, hey Monica, this is what happened to me, for the last couple months, what else I can do? So what is your
So
point of view?
So I would actually, you already did great. I mean, already acknowledging that there is something, and that there is, why is it that there is tension, and, realizing that there is something going on. That's absolutely fantastic. What I would recommend in that specific case, when you have like a headache or even any kind of pain, actually, is
Uh-huh.
what I recommend is actually breathing into the pain. And what I mean by that is that you
Mhm.
sit in meditation or you don't need to meditate. If you don't know how to meditate, or if meditation is not your thing, you just sit, on a chair or lie in bed, and you just actually consciously breathe, and you send your breath into the area where it's hurting,
That is true.
and just continue that, you just continue that. And then you can even imagine how when you exhale, the pain
Take
is
it out.
actually leaving with the
Uh-huh.
breath. It's you're sending it out. And then when you inhale, you can imagine like divine golden light. I love to work with Christ energy. So, I always use Christ energy. You can imagine Christ energy when you inhale, like sending it into that area. And it will take a little bit of time usually. I usually actually, mm, you can feel relief quite quickly. It doesn't mean that it goes away right away. You will feel relief. And then actually for headaches, I have this not so spiritual actually remedy, which is if you have essential oils, you
Yeah,
can
I have.
use you can use peppermint oil if you have
I was
it, or
thinking,
if
I was thinking mint, but it's peppermint.
yeah,
Yeah.
mint or peppermint is it doesn't matter. Whatever you prefer smelling, or if
Uh-huh.
it's too strong, sometimes it's too strong, you can use lavender oil as well. So you just put
I
it
have both.
on the side of your head and even here. And what is great if you just put a few drops on your hands, you just
And inhale.
rub it, inhale exactly, because actually what's really cool is that when when we inhale the essential oils, right, um, the message goes so much faster through our neurons than
Mm.
than if we take medication, because the medication we have to swallow, it has to go through our digestion, and it has to get into our bloodstream. But when you use essential oils, it's like immediate, because when you inhale, the oxygen gets it right through into all the cells of your body. So that's why essential oils can be really, really helpful. For me, it's always a little bit question of time, because I used to suffer from, or I still from time to time suffer from migraines.
Ooh,
And if I catch it on time and I get my oil on time, I'm good.
that's
But
wonderful.
sometimes if I catch it too late, it doesn't work anymore. So I need to go to traditional medication. But that's really a good go-to as well. Like do your breathing exercise. And even when I have a migraine, I do that breathing exercise.
I see.
And it's not nice in the beginning, because you're going like, oh, it's like really hurting, and it's like terrible pain. But the more you breathe into it, the less the pain becomes. And it's really amazing. And I've tested it on myself. It's truly amazing what breathing into pain can do for you, really.
I notice when I'm doing the meditation, because sometimes even guided meditation, people, like are telling you, like start thinking about your toes and your legs, and you just kind of scan the whole body mentally, right? But at the same time, breathing in those areas. So when I was getting into my head, I was like kind of concentrate in that pain, trying to get it out, the way that you were saying, by breathing, in the, and that really helped. Also, something that I didn't do too much, but I was kind of doing tapping a little bit. So tapping is a lot of people that are using tapping nowadays.
Mhm.
I knew about tapping probably 5 years ago, and I don't use it every day, but once in a while, when I feel that I have a pain, or I feel kind of anxious or about something, that I make a decision that is going to be crucial or something, then I start using some other methods. That's We are connected, girl. So we are in the right journey. So before we go, we have 48 minutes already together.
Oh,
But before we go, I want you to just spread those wisdom and whatever you want to say to the women that are watching us today in this beautiful space, woman to woman. Just let us know what is in your heart.
so just I want to encourage each and every woman out there, believe in yourself. You are so powerful. You are the creatrix of life. And this is the most beautiful gift you can have in this world. So believe in yourself, follow your heart, follow your passion. Don't let anybody tell you it's crazy or it's nonsense and you can't do it, because you can. If you really set your heart and your mind to it, you can achieve anything. And you are so strong. You are so beautiful. And woman to woman, I love you. That's what I want to share with you.
Oh, thank you, Monica. I love you too, and I'm so glad that we make it together here and share this video with your families and friends. I'm pretty sure that I'm doing the same thing. For those that are watching right now, I really appreciate your time, but also identify yourself. With Monica, identify yourself with me or with other women that is close to you, and help her, because that's what we are doing right here. We are supporting other women, help her to move forward, get out of those steps or life that they don't want anymore. And, you know, be out there, be yourself, enjoy your gift, spread it out there with the world. And I want to thank you, Monica, for your time to be here today. And I'm so happy that we continue connected and in communication. So I'm gonna send you first, the island in Canada for your retreat, or you can even, visit one day with me. You never know. So, so thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and thank you for saying yes to Woman to Woman.
Thank you for having me, and thank you all for watching. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Bye bye, girls. Spread the world and share this beautiful interview. Bye bye. God bless.